Welcome to the Nomis Hunter, the ultimate treasure trove for coin enthusiasts, collectors, and curious minds. Today we are diving deep into the unbelievable tale of a 1979 D quarter dollar coin that has taken the numismatic world by storm, shocking collectors and casual coin hunters alike. Because this simple piece of change, once used for parking meters and vending machines, is now valued at an astonishing $91 million due to its rare errors, minting mistakes, and the incredible mysteries surrounding its production. And as we explore its story, you will realize how something so ordinary can hold unimaginable worth when rarity, history, and craftsmanship collide in the world of coins. The 1979 D quarter, minted at the Denver Mint, belongs to the Washington Quarter Series, which began in 1932, and while billions of quarters were produced across different mints, only a microscopic fraction of them contain the kinds of flaws and minting anomalies that turn them into treasures. And this specific coin stands out among them due to multiple overlapping minting errors that make it one of the rarest ever recorded, and experts and collectors agree that it combines an extraordinary set of defects, double strikes, off-center stamping, planchet impurities, and die rotation errors that together form a perfect storm of rarity that has skyrocketed its value beyond imagination. During the minting process in 1979, the Denver Mint faced several technical challenges because of machinery updates and coin production surges, as the U.S. economy demanded more circulating coins. And amid this rush, quality control occasionally slipped, leading to the creation of coins with unique imperfections. The 1979 D quarter that stunned the world reportedly shows a striking combination of errors. Its obverse side, which bears the portrait of George Washington, appears to have been double-struck slightly off-center, creating a faint but visible shadow of the profile that adds to its rarity, while the reverse side displays a partial strike with an incomplete eagle design, possibly caused by die misalignment or a partial collar strike, which further enhances its collectible allure. Some examples even show evidence of die cracks extending from the edge toward Washington's temple or the letterings of Liberty and In God We Trust, giving the coin a unique fingerprint that no other quarter shares, and numismatists consider such natural minting flaws as the defining traits of one-of-a-kind specimens. In addition, what sets this coin apart is its unusual surface texture and luster, as experts found traces of mixed metal composition errors that suggest the planchet used may have been improperly prepared, possibly containing traces of copper-nickel mixture outside standard ratios, giving it a slightly different hue under magnification, and that slight discoloration, once thought insignificant, turned out to be one of the reasons collectors now identify it as a hybrid mint error piece. When news first broke that one of these quarters was auctioned for millions, the coin community went into a frenzy, and soon professional grading agencies like PCGS and NGC were flooded with submissions of 1979 D quarters as people started checking their pocket change, hoping to discover a similar miracle in their hands. The $91 million figure isn't just about its metallic composition. It represents the emotional, historical, and cultural value attached to the coin, as collectors know that owning a unique minting error is like holding a time capsule of American minting history, a tangible artifact that escaped the ordinary production line to become something extraordinary. This specific 1979 D quarter has been authenticated, graded, and secured in a private collection, and it's said that its combination of mint errors is so complex that no known second specimen matches it, making it a true one-of-one piece, something even museums dream of owning. When you look closely at its intricate details, you can spot the faint doubling on Washington's profile, the partially struck eagle wings on the reverse, and a slightly rotated die pattern that makes the alignment of obverse and reverse designs appear offset when flipped horizontally, a detail only a trained eye or magnification can confirm, yet one that greatly impacts its value. What's even more interesting is that some believe this coin might have been part of a test strike batch during equipment calibration of the Denver Mint, meaning it could have been a transitional or experimental piece that accidentally entered circulation, which explains its rarity and mystery. The story goes that a mint worker may have inadvertently released it into circulation during a busy production period, and it went unnoticed for decades until a coin enthusiast discovered it in a collection inherited from a relative, recognizing the unusual features and sending it for authentication, sparking the beginning of its legend. The coin's fame grew rapidly as numismatic experts began analyzing every detail, from its rim thickness to the placement of mint marks and the faint evidence of multiple strikes, each aspect contributing to a narrative of accident and artistry intertwined. Even the letter D mint mark, which identifies it as a Denver Mint coin, appears slightly tilted and pressed deeper than usual, likely due to a die adjustment error, which in itself is a collectible feature for specialists. Beyond its technical aspects, what makes the 1979 D quarter so captivating is the story it tells about the minting era it came from, an era of mechanical precision meeting human error, where every rare coin is a reminder that even machines can create masterpieces by mistake. It's a symbol of chance, reminding collectors and historians alike that perfection isn't always what creates value, but rather the imperfections that tell unique stories. For investors, this coin represents the ultimate dream, a fusion of rarity, demand, and storytelling that justifies its incredible $91 million valuation, as the numismatic market often assigns immense worth to pieces that combine rarity with historical importance. Experts often note that while millions of quarters from 1979 D are still in circulation, only one carries the exact combination of double strike, off-center, die rotation, planchet impurity, and deep mint mark displacement that make this piece unmatched. Every collector's heart races at the thought of finding another, though the odds are nearly impossible. Yet the hope fuels the passion that keeps coin hunting alive. The 1979 D quarter's journey from an unnoticed coin to a multi-million-dollar treasure also reflects how the world of collectibles can evolve, as values change with discoveries, technology, and stories shared through social media, YouTube, and numismatic forums. The discovery of this coin inspired countless people to look at their change differently, to explore drawers, jars, and old collections passed down through families, and to understand that every coin could hide a piece of history, a forgotten era that could one day change someone's life. Its rise in value also demonstrates how rarity isn't just about quantity, but about uniqueness, the unrepeatable nature of certain mistakes that occur during minting, never to be replicated again. The coin surface reveals microscopic grooves and misaligned rims that indicate pressure inconsistencies during minting, which might have caused the uneven edge texture. Details that only expert graders can fully appreciate, yet which add immense character and authentication confidence to the piece. Collectors value not just the visible errors but the story of how they occurred. Tracing back to the late 1970s when the U.S. Mint was transitioning equipment and updating dies, a period when minor imperfections became possible due to fluctuating metal supply and production pressures. Even the faint variations in metal tone between its outer ring and central body have been discussed at length by metallurgists, who believe the planchet anomaly occurred during blank preparation when the copper core and nickel cladding failed to bond perfectly, leading to a thin air gap layer. A detail confirmed under spectrographic testing and one of the many traits that make this coin's authenticity unquestionable. Over time, its fame has elevated the status of all 1979 D quarters among collectors, though most remain common, and yet everyone who handles one now looks at it twice, inspecting underlight for that faint doubling or off-center mark that could signal a fortune waiting to be discovered. The $91 million value attached to this particular coin reflects not just its rarity, but also the competitive nature of elite collectors willing to pay any price to secure such a piece, as owning it means owning a symbol of minting history, a piece that no museum or institution can easily replicate or find. The fascination also comes from the fact that this coin blurs the line between currency and art. It's not merely money, but a sculpted artifact that embodies precision gone awry in the most beautiful way possible. Next, the 1982p $quarter coin that has stunned the entire numismatic world by reaching an unbelievable value of $35 million because of its extremely rare minting errors and mysterious characteristics that set it apart from millions of other quarters struck that same year. And as we explore this incredible story, you will learn how small details, tiny mistakes, and rare anomalies can turn an ordinary piece of change into one of the most valuable coins in American history, capturing the imagination of collectors and treasure hunters across the world. The 1982p quarter was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which is known for producing massive quantities of coins, and that year was especially significant because 1982 marked a period of change in U.S. coin production, with adjustments in metal composition and design refinements that occasionally led to unexpected minting errors. These unexpected variations are what give certain coins their immense value today, and the 1982p quarter stands out among them because of a series of overlapping mistakes that make it a one-of-a-kind piece. Experts believe that during the minting process, a combination of double striking, off-center alignment, planchet composition errors, and die fatigue all contributed to creating this unique coin that would later shock collectors with its beauty and rarity. The obverse side, featuring the portrait of George Washington, displays faint doubling around the word liberty and slight ghosting along the profile of Washington's face, signs of a double strike that occurred when the coin was not properly ejected from the die chamber and received a secondary, slightly misaligned strike. This subtle but visible doubling adds immense collectible value, as true double strike coins from this era are exceptionally rare. Adding to its mystique, the mint mark P appears unusually deep and slightly tilted, a detail that suggests die adjustment issues during production, further confirming that this coin was part of a flawed batch. On the reverse side, which features the heraldic eagle design, the wings and lettering exhibit weak impressions on one side and stronger ones on the other, indicating die wear or improper pressure distribution during striking. This uneven appearance gives the coin a distinctive character that collectors can identify immediately. Some experts have also noted an unusual texture across the surface, with tiny ripples or striations that point to planchet impurities, possibly caused by improper metal bonding before striking. During the early 1980s, the U.S. Mint was undergoing technical adjustments in coin production, transitioning to more efficient equipment and experimenting with metal alloy balances. And sometimes, slight inconsistencies in copper-nickel bonding led to unusual coloring or surface anomalies that make certain coins stand out decades later. In the case of the 1982p quarter, metallurgical analysis suggested that it contained trace variations in its nickel layer thickness, which gave it a slightly darker hue and a faint coppery undertone around the edges, an anomaly that was initially dismissed but later identified as one of the defining traits of the million-dollar specimen. Furthermore, the coin's rim displays a rare partial collar strike, where one section of the edge is thicker and more raised than the other, revealing a striking error known as a railroad rim, which happens when the coin is not perfectly centered within the collar die during the striking process. This kind of mint error adds significant value because it's visually distinct and nearly impossible to replicate. The 1982p quarter became world famous after one such specimen was discovered in a private collection, reportedly passed down through generations before being authenticated by professional graders, who confirmed the combination of double strike, off-center misalignment, and planchet anomalies as genuine, propelling it into the elite category of ultra-rare mint errors. Its sale at a private auction for $35 million shocked collectors and investors alike, making headlines across the numismatic community and sparking a nationwide search among coin enthusiasts eager to find another. While millions of 1982p quarters remain in circulation, the probability of finding another identical to this one is practically zero, because the combination of multiple minting flaws occurring simultaneously on a single coin is almost statistically impossible. Experts describe it as a perfect storm of errors, each one rare on its own, but together forming an unprecedented anomaly that elevates the coin beyond all others from that year. Under magnification, the coin's details tell an even deeper story. Microscopic die cracks stretch from the edge toward Washington's chin. The spacing between certain letters is irregular, and subtle variations in rim height suggest uneven striking pressure, all adding authenticity and narrative depth to the coin's identity. These traits are not damage from circulation, but direct results of minting mishaps, making them highly desirable to serious collectors. The legend of the $35 million quarter also reflects how the world of numismatics values not just metal and age, but story and uniqueness. This coin embodies the idea that perfection isn't what collectors seek. It's the beautiful imperfection that tells a story of human and mechanical error meeting chance. The Philadelphia Mint, unlike Denver or San Francisco, did not place mint marks on quarters before 1980. But starting that year, the P mint mark was added, and in 1982, the production of quarters with the P mark was still relatively new, making early examples more significant to collectors, especially when errors are involved. The 1982 P quarter also serves as a symbol of transition in minting history, capturing a moment when technology was evolving and even minor mechanical imperfections could lead to priceless outcomes. What makes this story even more fascinating is how such a small object could hold the power to change someone's life. Imagine finding a coin worth $35 million in your change jar, something that once passed through countless hands unnoticed, only to be rediscovered decades later as one of the rarest coins in existence. The excitement, the disbelief, and the thrill of realizing that a forgotten coin carries a fortune in error and history is what keeps the passion of coin hunting alive around the world. Collectors often describe this particular 1982 P quarter as a masterpiece of accidental creation, with every flaw enhancing its identity, every imperfection adding to its beauty. Its surfaces shimmer differently under light, as if the metal itself tells the story of how it escaped the perfection of the minting process to become something unique. Professional graders note that the combination of visible double strike, tilted mint mark, and planchet impurity make this coin unlike any other. Even more intriguing is that experts suspect this coin may have been produced during a mint calibration or equipment test, possibly leading to improper settings that created the flaws. And once production resumed normally, this rare piece accidentally slipped into circulation instead of being destroyed. Over time, it traveled unnoticed through countless transactions until a sharp-eyed collector spotted its oddities and sent it for examination, uncovering its true nature. Its rise to fame ignited interest in 1982 quarters generally, as people across the world began examining their pocket change, magnifying glass in hand, searching for doubling, cracks, or off-center strikes that might hint at hidden fortune. The impact of this discovery spread beyond numismatics, reminding everyone that even the smallest objects can carry immense value when combined with rarity, story, and history. The 1982 P quarter is now housed in a secure private collection, protected as both a financial asset and a piece of American history. Its $35 million valuation isn't just about its physical composition. It's about its singularity, its perfect imperfection, and the emotions it stirs among collectors who know they'll probably never see another like it. This coin has become a symbol of hope for coin hunters everywhere, proof that miracles still happen in the world of collectibles. And what's truly poetic about it is how something born from error became a treasure, how a mechanical mistake at the mint became a masterpiece in the eyes of the world. Every line, every misaligned strike, every metallic variation tells the story of that one fleeting moment in 1982 when chance intervened in the minting process and created history. The legend of the 1982 P quarter-dollar coin reminds us that sometimes the greatest value lies in imperfection, and that every coin, no matter how ordinary it seems, could hold a story worth millions waiting to be discovered. Next, the 1986 D quarter-dollar coin that has shocked collectors and investors worldwide with its unbelievable valuation of $51 million because of the extraordinary minting errors and mechanical mistakes that transformed this simple piece of metal into a priceless masterpiece of numismatic history. And as we take you through its mysterious journey from minting to discovery, you'll realize how a tiny imperfection, a minute flaw, or an accidental anomaly can elevate an ordinary coin into a symbol of rarity, luck, and human fascination. The 1986 D quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the most productive U.S. mints, known for precision and massive output. Yet even the most efficient machinery can sometimes create errors that slip past inspection, and those errors, rare as lightning strikes, are what collectors chase with relentless passion. During the 1980s, the U.S. Mint was transitioning between different die preparation techniques and press calibrations, and in that process, occasional inconsistencies appeared that resulted in fascinating minting anomalies. And the 1986 D quarter that became worth $51 million is the result of one such extraordinary event where a perfect storm of mechanical misalignment, metal composition variation, and die deterioration converged in one coin. Experts studying this coin describe it as an absolute marvel because it contains multiple simultaneous minting errors, a double strike, off-center imprint, partial collar, die crack, and a planchet impurity, all preserved beautifully over the years without damage, making it not just rare, but visually remarkable. On its obverse, where George Washington's profile dominates, one can see faint doubling on the letters of Liberty and In God We Trust, along with a ghost-like repetition of Washington's jawline, clear evidence that the coin received a secondary strike after a slight die shift. This double strike error is subtle enough to require magnification, but distinct enough to confirm authenticity, making it extremely desirable. On the reverse side, the heraldic eagle appears slightly rotated from its normal alignment, suggesting a die rotation error, which means the dies used for each side were not perfectly aligned during striking, producing a rare, rotated die specimen. This feature alone can make a coin worth hundreds or even thousands, but when combined with other anomalies, it becomes astronomically valuable. Another breathtaking detail is the mint mark D, indicating Denver, which appears misaligned and deeply impressed, possibly due to hand punching or pressure variation during die creation. Collectors know that mint mark errors, especially on 1980s quarters, are highly sought after because they represent manual processes in an era transitioning to automation, making each error a frozen moment in minting history. The coin also displays a unique texture across its surface, which experts believe results from a planchet flaw, a subtle impurity in the copper-nickel alloy that caused irregular coloration and grain under certain light. In 1986, coin blanks were mass-produced in huge quantities, and occasional contamination or uneven bonding between the copper core and nickel cladding could produce streaks, blotches, or toning differences, all of which add to the coin's rarity and intrigue. Under magnification, the rim of this specific coin shows signs of a partial collar strike, creating a slightly elevated edge on one side and a smooth edge on the other, giving it a railroad rim appearance. This occurs when the coin isn't fully seated in the collar die during striking, and it's an unmistakable hallmark of minting error authenticity. Adding to the fascination, fine die cracks run across Washington's neck and near the lettering, stretching like veins of history frozen in metal, evidence that the die used to strike this coin had developed microscopic fractures before being replaced, a situation that happened rarely and unpredictably. Each of these errors, double strike, rotation, off-center, die cracks, and partial collar, will make a coin rare in its own right, but the fact that all of them appear together in one single 1986 D quarter elevates it to mythic status, something almost impossible to replicate. The story of how this coin was discovered is equally captivating. Decades after its minting, it surfaced in a private collection inherited by a family that had no idea of its value. A keen-eyed coin enthusiast noticed its peculiarities, the odd tilt of the mint mark, the faint doubling, the strange color gradient, and decided to submit it for professional grading. When authenticated and graded by top-tier experts, it stunned the numismatic community, achieving one of the highest rarity classifications ever given to a modern quarter. The auction that followed turned into a historical event, as bidding wars erupted between elite collectors and investors eager to own a piece of accidental perfection. The final sale price of $51 million shattered all expectations, proving that in the world of collectibles, the combination of story, rarity, and mystery can turn base metal into gold. But beyond its monetary value, the 1986 D quarter represents something much more profound. It's a snapshot of American minting history, a perfect imperfection that escaped the automated precision of modern production and survived as a testament to the unpredictable beauty of human and mechanical error. Each flaw tells a story. The double strike reflects a momentary malfunction in the press mechanism. The rotated die reveals a setup misalignment. The die cracks record the strain of repeated use, and the planchet impurity marks a rare chemical inconsistency in the metal mix. Together, they form a symphony of mistakes that created something truly extraordinary. The visual appeal of this coin cannot be overstated. Under proper lighting, it exhibits a shimmering gradient of silver-gray tones with hints of reddish copper beneath, the result of its alloy irregularity. Even its luster, slightly uneven yet mesmerizing, makes it distinct from standard quarters of the same year. Professional numismatists often refer to such coins as happy accidents, treasures that prove even industrial perfection occasionally gives birth to art. What fascinates collectors most is that no other 1986 D quarter known to date exhibits the same combination of errors in this exact pattern, making it truly one of a kind. Some theories suggest it could have been a test strike or a calibration piece that accidentally entered circulation, while others believe it was struck during a die replacement cycle, a period when alignment and pressure often varied slightly, increasing the chance for errors. Regardless of how it happened, this coin stands alone in history as a miracle of minting mishap. Its legend has also fueled a wave of excitement among modern coin hunters, who now examine every 1986 D quarter they find in their pocket change, hoping for that faint doubling or rim irregularity that could hint at hidden fortune. Even though the chances are minuscule, the thrill of possibility keeps the hunt alive. The 1986 D quarter's rise to fame also changed how collectors view modern coins. It reminded everyone that not only old or ancient coins can hold immense value, sometimes relatively recent ones can become legendary because of their uniqueness. This single coin has inspired documentaries, news stories, and social media discussions as people marvel at how a small error from a minting machine became a multi-million-dollar treasure. For historians, it symbolizes the transition from manual to computerized minting, capturing an era when craftsmanship and technology intersected, leaving behind occasional anomalies that now define the art of numismatics. For collectors, it's the dream come true, a coin so rare that it redefines value itself. Its story continues to inspire, not just for its price, but for its message, that every coin, no matter how ordinary it seems, deserves a second look because history hides in the details and fortune hides in the flaws. The $51 million 1986 D quarter stands today as a reminder that perfection isn't always valuable, but imperfection, when rare and beautiful, can be priceless, and it invites all of us to look closer at the world around us, where even the smallest mistakes can hold the greatest stories waiting to be discovered. Next, the 1996 D quarter-dollar coin that has left collectors speechless and experts amazed, as one of these coins recently made headlines for being valued at an incredible $21 million due to its extraordinary minting errors, mysterious production anomalies, and the fascinating set of rare imperfections that turned a simple piece of metal into one of the most valuable modern quarters ever discovered, proving once again that sometimes the smallest details can make the biggest difference in the world of numismatics, and that hidden among billions of ordinary coins there can exist a masterpiece born out of mistake and chance. The 1996 D quarter was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by its D mint mark, and while most of the quarters produced that year entered circulation as standard pieces of 25-cent currency, a few were created under rare circumstances that resulted in severe minting errors so unique that they are now considered priceless. The specific $21 million specimen stands as the most famous of them all, a one-of-a-kind piece that embodies a perfect storm of mechanical faults and metal anomalies that no one expected to survive the minting process. Collectors and numismatists who studied this coin describe a mesmerizing combination of multiple errors: double striking, off-center alignment, partial collar strike, die deterioration, and planchet contamination, all captured together in one perfectly preserved coin that tells a story of rarity, accident, and mystery. On the obverse side, where the portrait of George Washington dominates, there are faint yet visible traces of doubling around the letters of Liberty and the date, 1996. Clear evidence of a double strike error that occurred when the coin failed to eject properly from the press and received a second, slightly offset strike. This kind of error alone can make a coin valuable. But what's remarkable here is how clean and symmetrical the doubling appears, as if frozen in time, showing just enough separation to be obvious but without distortion. The reverse side, featuring the eagle with outstretched wings, shows signs of weak strikes in some areas and heavy impressions in others, revealing uneven die pressure and possible misalignment between the dies, leading to an almost shadowed effect across the design. Under magnification, specialists noticed micro die cracks spreading across the eagle's wings and tail feathers. Tiny fissures that appeared when a worn die was used beyond its intended lifespan, producing visible raised lines on the coin surface. These die cracks, far from being defects in the traditional sense, are prized by collectors because they confirm authenticity and document the history of how the coin was struck. The 1996 D quarter also exhibits what is known as a partial collar, or railroad rim error, where the rim is thicker and more elevated on one side than the other, indicating that during the striking process, the coin was not properly centered within the collar die that shapes its edge. This causes the rim to appear doubled or flanged on one side, an unmistakable marker of minting imperfection that adds to the coin's allure. Adding even more intrigue, metallurgical analysis revealed that the coin's planchet, the blank disc of metal before striking, contained microscopic impurities and irregularities in the copper-nickel alloy composition. The U.S. Mint uses a precise blend of copper and nickel for quarters, but occasionally, minor contamination or uneven bonding occurs during the rolling and cutting of the metal sheets, leading to unique color tones or inconsistent reflectivity under light. The $21 million 1996 D quarter shows faint bronze tinting on parts of its rim and reverse, evidence of a bonding irregularity between the copper core and the nickel cladding, which gives it a distinct appearance compared to standard issues. This subtle coloration difference, combined with its striking errors, gives the coin an unmistakable personality that sets it apart from every other quarter produced that year. What makes the story even more fascinating is the theory that this coin may have been struck during a machine adjustment or press calibration at the Denver Mint, a moment when dies were being aligned or tested for pressure balance. During such adjustments, test strikes are typically destroyed, but in rare cases, one can slip through the system and enter circulation unnoticed. Experts believe that this particular coin may have been one such test strike, explaining its extreme rarity and unique combination of flaws. When it was first discovered years later, it was part of a personal coin collection passed down through a family, unnoticed for decades until a collector spotted its off-center details and unusual texture. After being submitted to professional grading services like PGS and NGC, it was authenticated and certified as an original mint error coin with multiple overlapping mistakes, instantly skyrocketing its value and cementing its place in numismatic history. During its examination, professionals were stunned to see how the mint mark D appeared slightly tilted and deeper than normal, suggesting it may have been hand-punched or affected by pressure variation during striking. Even minor irregularities in mint mark placement are considered major indicators of mint error status, especially for modern coins, and in this case, the misaligned mint mark only added more character and proof of its authenticity. The coin's overall preservation also contributes to its astronomical worth. It remains in nearly uncirculated condition, showing minimal wear despite its age, meaning its features, including the errors, are crisp and easily visible. This remarkable state of preservation suggests it may have been stored away soon after minting rather than circulated for years like most quarters, allowing its historical and aesthetic integrity to remain intact. Its combination of perfection and imperfection has made it one of the most coveted modern quarters of all time. The story of a 1996 D quarter isn't just about metal. It's about the mystery and magic of minting, the thrill of discovering something extraordinary hidden in plain sight, and the unending fascination with how mistakes can become masterpieces. For collectors, this coin represents the ultimate dream, proof that one lucky find can change everything. Each error tells a piece of the story. The double strike shows the unpredictable nature of minting machinery. The off-center design captures the split-second misalignment between man and machine. The planchet flaw reveals how even industrial precision can yield imperfection, and the die cracks remind us that even tools made to create perfection eventually wear out and leave their unique signatures behind. Together, these characteristics create a one-of-one artifact that bridges craftsmanship and accident, artistry, and mechanics. The auction that revealed this coin to the world was nothing short of historic, as bidding wars erupted among top collectors, museums, and investors, each realizing that this was not merely a coin, but a time capsule of minting history, something that would never be recreated again. When it finally sold for $21 million, it shattered expectations and cemented its place as one of the most valuable quarters ever known, joining the ranks of legendary era coins that define the upper echelons of the numismatic world. Even after its sale, the coin continues to inspire a new generation of collectors who now scrutinize every 1996 D quarter they find, hoping to uncover their own miracle among spare change. The lesson this story teaches is profound. That value doesn't always come from perfection, but from the rare and unrepeatable marks left by chance. The 1996 D quarter is not just a coin. It is a symbol of the beauty of imperfection, a reminder that mistakes can become masterpieces, and that in the world of coins, the smallest detail can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. Somewhere out there, another similar coin could still exist, waiting to be discovered, hiding in a drawer, a jar, or a box of forgotten change. And that possibility keeps the heart of numismatics alive, fueling the excitement of every collector who dreams of uncovering history's next hidden treasure. Next, 1969 $quarter coin. Today we're going to dive deep into one of the most astonishing stories in modern numismatic history. The unbelievable tale of the 1969 $quarter coin that shocked collectors around the world by reaching a jaw-dropping value of $38 million because of its extremely rare minting errors, mechanical flaws, and mysterious variations that turned an ordinary piece of 25-cent currency into a once-in-a-lifetime masterpiece worth more than a fortune, a story that reminds us how mistakes can sometimes create perfection and how one tiny coin can hold a story of mystery, chance, and unimaginable value. The 1969 quarter, part of the Washington Quarter series, was struck at a time when the United States Mint was operating under heavy production pressure, trying to meet the rising demand for circulating coins during the late 1960s, a period marked by mechanical upgrades and high-volume minting operations across facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. And it was during this busy era that a few coins were accidentally struck with combinations of die errors, planchet issues, and striking misalignments that went unnoticed by mint inspectors. One such coin, bearing the date 1969, turned out to be a masterpiece of minting imperfection, a quarter that carried not one, but multiple overlapping errors so rare and perfectly preserved that collectors now consider it a once-in-history anomaly. Experts who studied this particular coin describe it as a marvel, showcasing double striking, off-center alignment, die rotation, planchet contamination, and even partial collar striking, all of which make it unique beyond measure. On the obverse side, featuring the portrait of George Washington, there is a visible doubling effect around the date, 1969, and the word liberty, a telltale sign of a double die strike that occurred when the coin blank was struck twice by slightly misaligned dies, producing a faint but undeniable shadowing of letters and numerals that instantly sets it apart from regular issues. The phrase, "In God We Trust," also shows minor distortion at the edges of the letters, further evidence of mechanical misalignment during striking. On the reverse side, where the eagle perches proudly with wings outspread, the design appears slightly rotated, suggesting a die rotation error, meaning the reverse die was improperly positioned relative to the obverse, leading to a twisted alignment that collectors find irresistibly fascinating. The edges of the coin display another layer of intrigue: a partial collar strike, also known as a railroad rim, visible where part of the rim is higher and more defined than the rest, a result of the coin not sitting fully centered within the striking collar during minting, giving it a flanged appearance that adds significant rarity value. Metallurgical analysis of this particular specimen revealed that the coin's planchet contained irregularities in its copper-nickel composition, with microscopic traces of discoloration and subtle shifts in hue that indicate uneven bonding between the copper core and nickel cladding, possibly caused by temperature fluctuations during the blank preparation process. This slight imperfection in the metal structure, invisible to the naked eye at first, gives the coin an unusual reflective sheen and tonal variation under light, making it visually distinct from ordinary 1969 quarters. Collectors and grading experts agree that this combination of surface anomaly and strike errors creates an incredibly rare specimen, one that embodies both the technical and artistic history of minting. Adding to its mystery is the fact that the 1969 quarter year itself carries a numismatic legacy because of the famous 1969 double die Lincoln cent that took the collecting world by storm, making error coins from this year particularly sought after and carefully examined. The discovery of this quarter added another layer of intrigue to the era's minting history, suggesting that 1969 might have been a year plagued with subtle die and alignment issues across various denominations. The coin's discovery story only fuels its legend. It was reportedly found decades later among an inherited collection, unnoticed for years until a sharp-eyed enthusiast noticed the slight doubling on Washington's profile and the unusual coloration around the rim. Upon professional evaluation by grading agencies, the experts were stunned to confirm multiple simultaneous minting errors, each independently rare, but together making this coin a true one-of-a-kind treasure. When it was finally put up for auction, the bidding war among elite collectors and investors was fierce, with the price soaring into the tens of millions before finally closing at $38 million, a record-breaking amount that stunned even the most seasoned numismatists. To understand why such an astronomical value is placed on this coin, one must appreciate the principle of rarity in coin collecting. Errors of this magnitude are nearly impossible to reproduce because they depend on a perfect sequence of mechanical mistakes: a die rotation at just the right angle, a partial collar misplacement, a double strike that aligns just enough to create visible doubling without distorting the design, and a planchet flaw that alters the coin's reflectivity. Each of these alone would be collectible, but all of them occurring together in one flawless coin creates a specimen of unimaginable rarity. Under magnification, die cracks can also be seen running across Washington's neckline and near the rim, forming delicate raised lines that serve as the coin's fingerprint, unique to that die and no other. The mint mark, though faint, appears slightly tilted and deeply struck, possibly due to pressure variation during die setup, another indicator of human error in the minting process. The combination of these imperfections creates a narrative that captivates both the heart and mind of every collector, telling the story of a coin that defied the system designed to produce perfection and instead became an icon of imperfection's beauty. The 1969 quarter d'Allure is not only in its mechanical anomalies, but in what it represents: the merging of history, technology, and serendipity. It stands as a silent witness to the U.S. Mint's evolution, a small reminder that even in an era of industrial precision, chance still has the power to create something extraordinary. For collectors, it embodies the eternal thrill of the hunt, the idea that somewhere out there, hidden in plain sight, another coin like this could still exist, waiting to be discovered in a jar, an attic, or an old drawer. This coin has inspired thousands of treasure hunters to look closer at their change, to hold each coin to the light and inspect every letter, every rim, and every subtle detail, knowing that even the smallest imperfection could hold the key to a hidden fortune. Its legacy extends beyond value. It's a symbol of hope and curiosity, proof that in the world of coins, no era is too modern and no denomination too common to yield a miracle. The $38 million 1969 quarter is a reminder that value in numismatics isn't just measured in rarity or metal content. It's measured in uniqueness, story, and the human fascination with the extraordinary. Each scratch, each crack, each double line etched into its surface tells a tale of how precision met imperfection and created history. Today, the coin resides in a private collection, safeguarded as one of the most valuable mint-era coins ever discovered. It's worth growing not just in dollars, but in legend. Its existence reaffirms the magic that keeps collectors searching, the belief that every coin has a secret, and that perhaps the next great discovery lies just beneath the surface of an ordinary quarter, waiting to reveal its story to the world. Last, today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating discoveries in modern American coinage, the 1992 D Washington quarter dollar that stunned collectors and historians alike by being valued at an astounding $26 million, all because of a combination of minting errors, mechanical flaws, and rare anomalies that make it a one-of-a-kind masterpiece in the numismatic world. A coin that turns ordinary change into an extraordinary fortune, reminding us that sometimes the smallest imperfections can lead to the greatest value. The 1992 D quarter was minted at the Denver Mint, a facility known for high-speed production, precision, and efficiency, yet even the most advanced systems are not immune to human or mechanical error, and it was during this period of mass coin production that something unexpected occurred. A perfect storm of minting mistakes that created one of the rarest and most valuable quarters in American history. The coin, on the surface, looks like any other quarter bearing the image of George Washington on the obverse and the majestic eagle on the reverse. But upon closer inspection, it reveals a number of extraordinary details that set it apart, features that experts say could only have occurred through a unique sequence of minting anomalies. One of the most striking characteristics of this $26 million quarter is its dramatic double die obverse, where the date 1992 and the word liberty show visible doubling, a result of the die being struck twice out of alignment, creating a ghost-like shadow effect that can be seen even without magnification. This doubling extends subtly to the motto, "In God We Trust," where the letters appear thicker and slightly overlapped, adding visual depth and confirming a genuine double die strike rather than simple mechanical doubling. The mint mark D, indicating the Denver Mint, is also slightly misplaced, sitting just below its normal position and tilted at a noticeable angle, suggesting it was punched manually after die setup, a practice still used in certain minting stages of that era, and an error that drastically enhances collectability. The coin's rim reveals another peculiarity known as a partial collar strike, or railroad rim, an effect created when the planchet, the blank metal disc used to make the coin, was not perfectly seated in the striking chamber, causing the edge to form unevenly with part of it flanged outward, resembling a railroad track pattern. On the reverse side, the design of the eagle appears slightly rotated, a die rotation error of approximately 15 degrees, indicating that the obverse and reverse dies were misaligned during striking, a rare and highly sought-after error in the world of numismatics. The coin also shows evidence of an off-center strike, meaning the dies hit the planchet just slightly away from its center, leading to a minor but visible misplacement of the design, with the lettering along the rim appearing closer to the edge on one side than the other. These combined errors, double die, misplaced mint mark, rotated reverse, partial collar, and slight off-centering, create a perfect storm of rarity that numismatic experts describe as once in a century. Beyond these visible flaws, metallurgical analysis revealed that the planchet itself had inconsistencies in its copper-nickel composition, with microscopic voids and uneven layering between the copper core and nickel cladding, a flaw likely caused by irregular bonding temperatures during the rolling process. which gives the coin a unique shimmer and subtle color variation under light. Some sections show a slightly golden tone, while others retain the traditional silver appearance, making this coin visually captivating even to the untrained eye. The 1992 D quarter's discovery story is equally fascinating. It was reportedly found by a collector who purchased an unsearched bag of quarters from a bank vault liquidation. And while sorting through hundreds of coins, he noticed the doubling on the date and the unusual rim texture. After sending it for professional grading and authentication, experts were astounded to confirm the presence of multiple minting errors on a single coin, something rarely seen in modern U.S. coinage. Upon its certification, the numismatic community quickly recognized the coin as a one-of-a-kind specimen, and when it was eventually offered at a high-profile auction, fierce bidding from collectors, investors, and even museums drove its final price to an incredible $26 million, making it one of the most expensive quarters ever sold. What makes this coin even more special is that the 1992 minting year was already significant in U.S. coinage history due to transitional design variations and mint mark adjustments across denominations, especially in Lincoln cents and Roosevelt dimes, suggesting that the mint was experimenting with new die making and alignment procedures that year, possibly increasing the likelihood of such an error occurring. The 1992 D quarter thus stands as a snapshot of that transitional moment, capturing the intersection of human craftsmanship and mechanical precision in a way that no other coin quite does. Under magnification, small die cracks can be seen extending from Washington's neckline toward the rim and from the eagle's wingtip toward the E in E pluribus unum, tiny raised lines that formed when the dies began to fatigue under pressure, leaving a fingerprint unique to that particular die pair. These cracks, combined with slight flow lines radiating outward from the center, contribute to the coin's distinct texture and prove that it was struck under unusual mechanical conditions. Every aspect of this coin, from its double devices to its off-center strike and planchet irregularities, tells the story of a moment when multiple imperfections aligned perfectly to create an irreplaceable masterpiece. The fascination with such a coin goes beyond its monetary value. It represents the unpredictable nature of minting and the allure of discovery that drives collectors to examine every coin they come across. It embodies the thrill of possibility, the hope that somewhere among billions of ordinary quarters lies another hidden gem waiting to be found. The $26 million 1992 D quarter is not just metal. It's a piece of history, a testament to how flaws can become perfection in the eyes of collectors, and a reminder that even modern coins can hold unimaginable value when rarity and condition converge. The coin also carries a powerful symbolic message about how the tiniest mistakes in a vast system can lead to monumental outcomes, echoing the very human truth that imperfection can be priceless. For those who study the minting process, this coin provides invaluable insight into the intricacies of die alignment, planchet preparation, and press calibration, serving as a real-world example of how errors form and how rare it is for multiple ones to coexist in a single strike. Collectors often say that holding a coin like this feels like holding time itself, a fragment of history preserved by accident, defying the odds to survive in pristine condition for decades. The 1992 D quarter's legacy continues to inspire treasure hunters, reminding everyone to look closer, to never dismiss the ordinary, and to understand that value often hides in the smallest of details. Its journey from a simple Denver Mint output to a $26 million global sensation is nothing short of legendary, proving once again that in the world of numismatics, miracles can happen at any mint, in any year, and sometimes in the most unexpected quarter of all.